So I have no financial disclosures. So intravitreal dexamethasone and fluocinolone intravitreal implants are FDA approved for use in diabetic macular edema. The use of dexamethasone also implant has been extended to RVO, related macular edema and uveitis. There has been several publications about their use in vitrectomized eye, and that their effect is not significantly decreased by vitrectomy, rendering them a good method for use in vitrectomized eyes. So what we did is we did a retrospective case series. We looked at all cases where we used vitrectomy with one of these two implants, or in an eye that had one of these two implants. So we looked through 53 cases that we did, and we came up with mainly 7 cases that had unusual complications. So case 1, this is a patient who had Iluvien as off-license treatment for a chronic panuveitis. And here we were doing vitrectomy to fill the eye with oil as a trial to treat hypotony that was getting worse, and that was her only eye. So what happened here, as we're removing the vitreous near the pars plana, as you can see, the Iluvien implant shot in the infusion cannula and then shot back. And that was really very interesting. And this is a slow motion to what happened. It took us a while to understand what happened. And then the next case here was a patient who had a proliferative diabetic retinopathy with vitreous hemorrhage, and she also had panuveitis. She had Ozurdex in the eye, and then thought she better receives Iluvien, so 2 for 1. So here, this is the Iluvien inserted at the conclusion of the vitrectomy, and then removing the cannula here, and then it shot off again. So yeah, okay, maybe we don't have good luck with Iluvien. Let's move to dexamethasone. This is a case where we're putting dexamethasone at the end, and it usually shoots that quick. But what happened here is you see a hemorrhage, and I played the videos many times to see if I actually poke the retina doing this, and it's actually not. The hemorrhage was there from the implant shooting in the retina. That has been reported before. So one way to avoid this, or to try to avoid the impact of this, is to use the temporal trocar so that you're shooting away from the macula if you're doing it the conventional technique like this. Or to use a modified technique which was described by my colleague, Sami in Arkansas, to shoot in the trocar. And that's a good way of doing it. So I've tried this in 25, but did not work, as you will see now. It cracked in the eye, which is fine. But then in this case, as you'll see here, it cracked outside, which is probably not that fine. So moving to the 6th case. This is a case where put Ozurdex, and then we did the air fluid exchange afterwards, which is probably not a very good idea. Does anyone do that? Okay. Then what happened 5 days post-operative? We got the Ozurdex not moving at all and actually nearly touching the fovea. So after a bit of panic, we decided to remove the implant. And then this is 24 hours after repositioning, and you can see the mark there. And then probably the best way is to actually shoot it in an air-filled eye. And do not do the air fluid exchange before, because then you're plastering more towards the retina. This is a very unlucky patient. I thought I better finish with this case. So he had complicated cataract surgery, lens decentered, scleral fixation, lens decentered, anti-chamber IOL, then macular edema afterwards, not responding, so we did Ozurdex. And that's what happened. So he's really very unlucky. So what to do? So he had, of course, DSEC, because he's unlucky the edema did not resolve. And then the macular edema keeps recurring, and Kenalog lasts only for less than a month. So what to do with this patient? So took him to surgery, and I thought it's probably best to suture the implant. But then I realized you cannot go with the needles through the implant. So I thought put a suture around it. It broke a bit, but then I thought it's still okay. We'll suture that to the sclera. But then it dropped. So what to do? So okay, I thought better put it suprachoroidal. It should stay there. So that's what I did. So got it out of the eye, and then pushed it in the suprachoroidal space. Oh, sorry. And then we will see that in a minute, another topic. Right, so they can migrate, fluocinolone implant. Care should be taken when you're pressing on the eye. This is unlikely to happen with 27-gauge vitrectomy trocars. Dexamethasone implant as well, they reshoot with high speed. So you either be wary of this or use the trocar-assisted technique which we described. In a gas-filled eye, it's best to do it before you put the, so do the air fluid exchange first. And then last thing, really, these implants can move to the antechamber, and we'll have the word on suprachoroidal injection in the next talk. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, maybe let's defer them until we have the next course on suprachoroidal, and then we can group them together.